Oh, but it's only on one day, or what? Yeah, just like until like early into 3 p.m. Sunday AEST. Oh yeah. Oh yes, the old 4 to 7 a.m. time slot. I might actually be able to make that with my current schedule. Actually, I 16-headed you guys. I'm already on PST time zone now, so I can make all 3 events. And you guys thought that my schedule was actually fucked up. Little did you know, I'm actually way ahead of you. Yeah, it has nothing to do with not being able to sleep and having a messed up circadian rhythm. It's compensation for the instability experience in the wake of the version 225 Goo Island Getaway update. Oh, that is interesting, because I actually thought that they were already going to write that off with the extra week that they gave the Goo skills. Of course, unfortunately, the Goo skills, even though they're still active, if you didn't activate them when the event was still active, your character does not have them right now. And there's no way to really check because they're not really visually represented anywhere. Instead of they're on your character, so if you know your stats well, you can see if the 10% crit rate or the boss damage or any of that is still applied. But I think for most of my characters that I would want to use the 2x on, I don't think they're activated, so that's a little bit unfortunate. How they did that. This will run during three-hour time slots this weekend. 3 hours is always amazing, especially because we have those big 2-hour potions. So now you have to decide, do I use one, do I use two, and waste half of the other one, or do 4 hours, right? Always amazing. So check the times and your local time zone to take full advantage. All right, so a total of 9 hours. There's 3 periods that are on screen right now. So it starts UTC, so that's MapleStory reset, right? UTC, MapleStory reset. So it starts 10 a.m. server time until 1 p.m. So if you're in PDT, if you're in the West USA, that's 3 to 6. So this one should be completely devoid of people. This is 3 to 6 a.m. for NA. Nobody should be training at this point. Only Europeans. But you bet your ass that a bunch of degenerate Americans are actually going to be taking up all the fucking map slots. As always. But hopefully. Maybe finally a time slot where Europeans and Australians can finally find maps. And then we have 7 to 10 p.m. server time. So that's 12 to 3 p.m. PST. 9 to 12. It's kind of late, but that's doable, I guess, for CEST. So I guess there's 2 decent times. I mean, this one is in the middle of the day. Not everyone can make that, of course. This is 5 to 8 a.m. Australia. Oof. And then this one is probably going to be middle of the night for EU. Yeah, 2 to 5 a.m. server time. So that's 7 to 10 p.m. PST. And then Europe time zone, 4 to 7 a.m., of course. And EST, 12 to 3. I have to say, this is probably to date the best distribution of time zones. Everyone has one good time zone, one doable time zone, and one horrible time zone. For how much flack we've given Nexon in the past for having like 2 great PDT time zones and then one that's maybe a little bit not so great, and then both Australia and Europe having like 2 shitty ones and one that you can, I guess, kind of make. This is probably the best distribution of time zones that I've seen so far. If you guys agree with that, let them know. Okay. Of course, if you're in PDT time zone, you probably disagree because now you can't make all 3 of them with a little bit of work. But since this is a global game with people all across the world and all different time zones, I think this is a great idea. The thing that's still really weird to me is that you don't have different time slots for the NA server and for the EU server. Like, if these are for NA, that's fine, because people on NA are playing from everywhere, right? But on EU, it's really just only EU people. And then, like, those 5 masochists that somehow from America play on the EU server. Like, yeah. Why don't they get, like, slightly more beneficial EU times? That's always what I wonder. But maybe they have to make them universally across the board. Like, I don't know how the coding works. But for my personal opinion, this looks like the best distribution of time zones that I've seen so far. Better than the August DMT time slots, right? Better than any time slot, I would say. But I don't know if you guys agree. If you guys agree, let Nexon know. Give them this feedback, okay? Because every single time they're just trying, all right? And they're going off of player feedback to see what's good. If this works and you guys let them know that this works, then they don't have to like look anymore, right? Then they could just copy this one. But yeah, I think everyone has one good time slot, one doable but probably not fantastic time slot, and then one horrible one. And that's unavoidable, right? If you're going by Australia and Western America, Eastern America, and Europe, like there's always going to be one horrible time slot. So yeah, I think that's a positive. And this is the main thing, right? You can have an amazing event, but it can be completely inaccessible to like 60% of the player base, and then it's a horrible event. So the execution and the time slots, I think, are the most important thing. So please note that this event will stack with double experience coupon and double drop coupons. So we already talked about, right? It stacks with everything else that already stacks with each other right now. Remember that double drop means that double the mesos drop as well. So it's like kind of like a meso obtain event as well. If you're going to be farming or just training, you'll get double the money as well on top of what you were already getting. So that makes it really, really efficient for farming as well. Look out for a scrolling double EXP and double drop announcement on the left side of your screen for the double EXP and drop icon. Right, yeah, there'll be a pop-up on the left that says like 2x. When you see that, it'll be active. Sometimes it stops like a minute early, but you know, whatever. But again, it's a 3 hour, so if you're going to use big potions, the WOPs and the EOPs, make sure that you have them ahead of time and that you use them whenever you see fit. It'd probably be best to use one a half an hour before or like an hour before time. Like if you're going to decide like when to use them, it'll be best to find your map an hour before and then start there and then just do the first hour without and then do the 3 hours. Of course, that could induce memory leak halfway through your training session. So, take the stability of the server and all of that into account as well. At this point, we would just wish that we were in EU so we don't have to worry about any of that. But and this event is available with reboot and non-reboot worlds. Yes. Man, imagine this with a frenzy totem in like a high-level area and stuff. So this is nice. I'm glad they didn't just stick to the 1 week of the GUI event and be like, oh, that's your compensation, because the game was pretty much unplayable and like every single boss would crash you for like 2 days. So that's pretty busted. And we haven't had one of these in a while, so I think everyone will see this as a great bonus, as a great gift. Now the only thing that has to happen, and with these time zones, that's also good. Now the only thing that has to happen is that it doesn't turn into a giant shit show with everyone crashing and channels crashing all the time. So fingers crossed for that. So that's this Saturday into early time zone Sunday. Yeah. So for if you're in the US, it starts like very early on Saturday and it ends very late. Well, not even very late, but like late on Saturday. So keep your eyes open for that. Check your time zones. Let Nexon know if you agree that the time zones are good. And I wish you guys the best of luck. Remember, double the mesos drop. And also, if you're going to do bosses, you should also have double the chance for the bosses to drop items that you are looking for. Of course, items that are multipliable with drop. So no Abzo, no Arcane, no Superior Gollux, no Pitch Boss, no anything that matters. But like Dominators, Primals, that kind of stuff. So maybe do like a bunch of Arc runs if you don't feel like training, if you don't feel like grinding. But farming as well, double the mesos for at least those 3 hour sessions. So if you could do all 9 hours, you're getting 18 hours worth. Again, that's if you do the times 2. If it's very laggy, it might not be quite double, but it'll probably still be more efficient. I don't know. If you have limited coupons from the Legion shop, you can get probably, most likely, more efficiency. And one last thing, please, let this be the PSA of all the ages. Don't go to MVPs, okay? You'll lose your map, you'll lose your buffs, you're gonna crash, you're gonna memory leak. The game is not stable right now. Do not go for MVPs, please. All right, save yourself. Just from the get-go, just be like, okay, either I'm going and I'm 100% okay with my game crashing because it's going to happen. All right, just don't, if you don't want to risk it, just don't at all go for it. All right, just save up your own MVPs and use them on yourself. Nobody's going to feel, anyone who thinks you're selfish in that is just a dumbass. Just MVP yourself in a map, save them for this event, and you don't have to worry about anything, okay? But yeah, best of luck. And hopefully you all make many, many gains. And yay, this part of the compensation. And of course, there's still other compensation coming for the style boxes, right? So we're still waiting on that one. But hopefully that's being developed right now so that they can implement that soon. But yeah, just a short update and best of luck. Oh, look, it has 69 in here. Nice.